Hey people, welcome to the channel, and yes, this is going to be another EDC video, an update on what I've been carrying lately. I'll throw in there some important tips that may make a big difference if you find yourself in certain disasters and emergencies. As always, there's not much that has changed here because I've been working for decades now with a system that works well for me. It has been working well for me for many years in different situations, in different countries. So yeah, this is not just something that I quickly improvise for a YouTube video. This is the stuff I do and has worked for me over the years so far. But again, there's little changes and things that you modify or incorporate here and there, and that's also worth talking about. And if you want to learn more about survival preparedness, EDC, practical stuff, you have the channel with a lot of information, and you have my books, Survival Skills and Surviving the Economic Collapse, especially for this sort of stuff, self-defense, security, EDC, practical advice for preparedness. Survival Skills covers that quite a bit. It's one of the best-selling survival books. And yes, I do have dedicated chapters to EDC, the things you probably want to have with you, including stuff like, the clothes you wear, survival kits, bug-out bags and whatnot, but the clothes you wear, the footwear, your belts, and anyway, a lot more. You have that in the links there below in Amazon, and I'll leave some links for some of this other stuff in case you want to grab one. It's going to be from the referral program of Amazon. It will not change your price one bit, but it helps out here. So, as always, the basics still apply. Like every other human being, I will have my cell phone and I will have a wallet. The only thing is, and this is important, we'll already start with important stuff that I want you to keep in mind. In your wallet, what is it you have? Yes, you will have some spare change. You'll probably have a few coins, but also quite a bit of cash in case you need it for emergencies. This has proven time and again that when the power goes down, whatever, cash is king. You want to keep cash. In terms of cell phone, nothing fancy, just a big screen, right? And I just make sure I have a case and I have a screen glass, tempered glass thing to protect it in case of dropping it, which I do every once in a while. And a good case saves your phone. I used to have like a big ass OtterBox case. A thin Spiegel case works as well, and I've never broken the phone with one, even though I've dropped it like everyone else. That's been keeping it safe. But the tip that I want you to remember is go right now in your cell phone and download Live 360. If you have family members, friends, loved ones that you really do trust and you don't care about sharing your location with them, the government is spying you anyway. It's not that because you install this app that the government will know something they don't know already. But with Live 360, that's the app I use. I'm not paid by it or anything. I wish I was, but it's one of the most valuable, useful tools in my EDC. Live 360. It allows me to see in Google Maps where everyone is at any time. So someone coming back from work, from school, going out one night with friends or whatnot, you just know where everyone is. You don't even have to call them. Oh, honey, you're coming back home? No, I just see where you are and I don't have to bother you while driving. I see if you're in the store buying something, so I don't have to remind you. Maybe I see that you're somewhere closer to something that I need and I give you a call. So these are all things that can be super useful, and especially during emergencies and disasters, but also for daily life. The app even tells you if someone is walking or driving or riding a bicycle based on the movement that they detect. So pretty cool stuff. Live 360, especially if you have kids and whatnot, you will probably want to get it. The other thing that everyone has with them is, their keys, and this goes into the philosophy of preparedness and layering and having redundancy. If I'm leaving my house, I will have keys so as to make my way back in. If you don't have the keys, you're not opening the door, and you cannot get back in. So keys will be with you, and because of that, I incorporate a little Victorinox mini champ and a small AAA battery flashlight. This is a little through night titanium. It could be something else. And I do have a little Pico pry bar. I have been using it lately a little bit more than I usually do. It just reminds me that it's one of those things that is very lightweight, and every once in a while it comes in handy. I'll be completely honest, in most things that I need a little blade for, 70% of the time, I don't even need my multi-tool or my big folder. I just use this thing. For 70 to 80% of the situations in which you need a blade, a tiny blade will usually do. So this is something that not only gives you redundancy, this is something that for someone that is new to preparedness, you want to start with this. You want to start with your keychain. So the first thing, as someone that is new to preparedness, get yourself a little keychain flashlight. It could be one of these AAAs, which is what I advise. Twisty is usually super reliable over the years, and a small Victorinox. The Mini Champ is great, but go with something that, the blade and a screwdriver and tweezers are probably the thing you use the most, right? So having said that, I do want to have better tools, and of course I will have a folder. And personally, I've always liked this combo. I've been using this for decades now. I will have a folder with me, and I will have a multi-tool with me. Currently, the folder is the CRKT M16 law enforcement model, which has a Tanto tip and a little bit of serration, half-half. Not the most fancy knife thing, but it's very utilitarian. And following that line of thought, it has a seatbelt cutter and a glass breaker, generous proportion, generous size and weights, so you could smash something nicely with it, and you have a decent knife too. These are proven, strong, practical tools. If I lose it, it's no big deal. Well, I wouldn't want to lose it because I think there's a little bit harder to find these days. I'll leave links if I find it, or the closest thing to it. But it wouldn't hurt as much as losing, say, $400 your tolerance, which is maybe one of the things I'm not carrying that much lately. In terms of multi-tool, go with a Leatherman Wave. If you want to get a little bit fancier, go with a Leatherman Charge. There's one that has, the newer models, the Wave has always been the best survival tool there is, and this is just a slightly nicer, fancier model with a little bit of nicer steel. Now, having used the titanium version of this knife for decades, I do appreciate having nice steel. Even though I don't use it all the time, as time goes by, you end up using your multi-tool, and nicer steel means you have a little bit better edge retention. And if you're using your knife as a cutting tool, as you should, nice steel will be appreciated. Now, most cases people barely tell the difference, but at least in my case, having used the previous multi-tool that I've had for so long, I do appreciate the better edge retention. In terms of flashlights are maybe the thing I change the most. A very important little tip: whatever the carry flashlight is, and this one is here because this is the flashlight I carried, I think it was yesterday, but this is honestly the one that is with me most of the time. I just felt like carrying this one for a change. But this is honestly the one that goes with me most of the time. But as you see, there is something common here. Both of these have a little piece of cord and a whistle. The whistle is crucial. Doesn't matter if you're hanging on a tree after surviving the floods in Texas, or a mudslide, or an earthquake, and you want to have a whistle. People that actually work in survival rescue and emergency, they will have a whistle with them. The whistle allows to signal your position. The whistle is critical survival equipment, and you want to incorporate it to your flashlight. This is the one I've been using lately: Olight, Baton, Turbo, and yeah, it is very bright, it is very powerful. It uses a charging magnet thing. Maybe not as redundant as something but I do have both. So if I need something, if I need to find a battery in a motel from a remote control, it will work here. Not here, but here. This is the one that gives me the more power. This is the one that gives me more options in terms of lights, and it actually tells me if I need to charge it. And as long as I have a full charge, or at least 75%, I have a lot of light at my disposal. I have a nice amount of throw. I have a nice reflector here that does a great job. And I have the whistle. The whistle allows you to make your position noticed as much as the light signal that you have. And besides that, the cordage I use here is a bit of bright and reflective material, because I'm not a high-speed, low-drag operator like so many of these flashlights in the marketing think we are. I prefer to have more visibility. So this is nice, but this is more visible. This combined with this little lanyard will help, but if I drop my flashlight, I want to make sure I see it very quickly. Besides that, really not a lot more. I have some hand sanitizer because people are gross. I have my eyeglasses to protect your eyes. I try not to use it all the time because you do want some sunlight in your eyes. There's a lot of reasons for that: neurological, your brain, your eyes. The sun is not your enemy. Stop wearing sunscreen all the time like an idiot. You don't even need sunscreen. you don't have to wear sunscreen. The sun is fine. It's been there for millions of years, so have every living organism in the planet, and you actually need sun. Just be smart, don't expose yourself at the worst possible time, and have a little bit of a tan like I have here, right? A little bit of a tan will help you protect your skin. It is super healthy. That's what you want to do. In terms of my watch, this is the one I had with me yesterday, but honestly, this is my go-to EDC watch. Pro Trek Casio, titanium solar. It has barometric pressure indicator, moon phase. I have the tides, so as to know when it's going up and down, which is actually kind of useful. Barometer, compass, and yeah, the more practical watch I have come across, and avoiding the fancy, smart watches. Really not something I'm big on. I just prefer simple and not having to worry about batteries in my watch. Guys, that's gonna be all for now. If you want to learn more about this stuff, again, I've been doing this for a long time. That's what I've been writing about, and these are some of the best-selling books in preparedness in English, Spanish, and French as well. See you next time. Take care.